Have you ever followed all the advice you've been given for years? You walk more. You try to stay active. You push yourself just a little bit, because that's what you're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, your legs still feel heavy, like they're filled with lead, and that spark of energy you were hoping to find just seems to drain away. It's a frustrating feeling, isn't it? But what if I told you that this very approach, this common belief that you need to work harder to stay healthy, might be the very thing sabotaging your well-being after the age of 60? As a doctor who has spent over 30 years with patients in their golden years, I'm here to share a truth that can be difficult to accept at first. For many of us, the no pain, no gain mindset is a dangerous lie. I'm not speaking from a textbook. I'm speaking from experience. I'll never forget a patient of mine, a gentleman named Arthur. He was a proud 75-year-old veteran who was being tormented by swollen ankles and that deep, aching heaviness in his legs. He was walking every single day, determined to fight it, but it was only getting worse. I remember the look of resignation in his eyes when he sat in my office and said, with a heavy sigh, "Doc, I guess this is just what getting old feels like." The good news is, his story doesn't end there. In this video, we are going to walk through the exact 5 simple, gentle movements that I shared with Arthur. These are not grueling exercises. They don't require you to break a sweat, and you can do them right from the comfort of your favorite chair, starting today. And please, make sure you stay with me until the very end. Because the 5th and final movement I'll reveal is the one that ties everything together. It's the key that helped Arthur not just reclaim his legs, but also improve the very quality of his breath and posture. A crucial secret that so many people completely overlook. Before we begin, I truly want to know how many of us share this feeling. If the struggle I just described with Arthur sounds familiar to you, if you've ever felt that frustrating sense of doing everything right but still feeling wrong, please take a moment to comment a simple "I understand" below. It helps me know that you're here with me, and it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with our very first movement. This one is foundational. It's the cornerstone of everything else we'll discuss today. I call it exercise number 1, the second heart activator. Now, the problem this addresses is something incredibly common, something that maybe you've just accepted as a normal part of life after 60. I'm talking about that heavy, tired feeling in your legs at the end of the day. The kind of ache that makes you want to put your feet up the moment you sit down. Or maybe you notice your ankles look a bit puffy, your socks leaving a deep line on your skin. So many of my patients, just like Arthur, simply chalked it up to old age. They'd tell me, "Well, doc, that's just gravity taking its toll after all these years." But I am here to tell you, it's not just gravity. It's a sign of something much more specific, and something you have the power to change. Here's the expert analysis. Inside your body, you don't just have one heart. You have 2. That's right, a second heart. This second heart isn't in your chest. It's located in your calf muscles. Think of those strong muscles in the back of your lower legs as a powerful, biological pump. Every time you walk, every time you flex your foot, these muscles squeeze the veins within them, forcing the old, deoxygenated blood from the very bottom of your body all the way back up to your heart and lungs to get refreshed. It's a brilliant system. But here is the core reason why this becomes so critical as we get older. The why behind the problem. As we age, we often become more sedentary. We sit for longer periods, watching television, reading, or simply resting. When we do that, this magnificent second heart, this powerful pump in our legs, it goes dormant. It falls asleep on the job. And when that pump stops working efficiently, the blood starts to pool in our lower legs. It gets stagnant. And that leads directly to the relatable symptoms you might be feeling right now. That pooling blood is precisely what causes that feeling of heaviness. It's what causes the swelling, the puffiness around the ankles. It's the root cause of that deep, persistent ache that has nothing to do with how much you walk that day. I saw this exact pattern in my patient, Arthur. His second heart had become so sluggish from years of inactivity that it was barely pumping at all. It was, for all intents and purposes, asleep. His legs were heavy because they were literally weighed down by stagnant fluid that wasn't being properly circulated. We weren't just fighting a feeling. we were fighting a physiological traffic jam. The scientific proof behind this is well established in vascular medicine. Studies consistently show that activating the calf muscle pump is one of the most effective non-invasive ways to improve venous return. That's the medical term for getting blood back to the heart. It reduces edema, which is the clinical term for swelling, and it can significantly alleviate the symptoms of chronic venous insufficiency, a condition that affects millions of seniors. This isn't just a feel-good theory. It's fundamental human mechanics. So, here is the beautifully simple solution. The constructive action you can take right now, without even getting up. I want you to start this movement with me. Sit comfortably in your chair with your back straight and your feet flat on the floor. Now, simply lift both of your heels up as high as you can, keeping the balls of your feet pressed into the ground. Hold it there for just 2 seconds. 1, 2. Feel that gentle squeeze in your calves? That, right there, is your second heart waking up. Now, slowly lower your heels back down. Next, do the opposite. Keep your heels on the floor and lift your toes up toward the ceiling. Hold it again. 1, 2. And relax. That's it. That's the entire movement. You just manually activated your body's circulatory pump. You just told your body to start moving that old, stagnant blood out of your legs. My call to action for you is simple. Begin waking up your second heart today. Do a set of 10 of these little pumps every hour while you're sitting. It takes less than a minute. Think of it not as exercise, but as essential maintenance. Just like your main heart beats all day without you thinking about it, your second heart needs these small, conscious reminders to keep doing its job. Now, if this idea of a second heart in your legs is new to you, if it sparked a little moment of surprise or understanding, I'd love for you to let me know. Just type the word, "wow," in the comments below. It's always fascinating to see when these simple truths about our own bodies really connect with people. Wonderful. Now that we've awakened our second heart, let's move on to our second movement. This one addresses another major concern I hear about every single day in my practice. A concern that can create a cloud of anxiety over what should be our most peaceful years. I call this exercise number 2, the natural pressure regulator. The problem we're tackling here is that constant worry about blood pressure. It's the ritual of wrapping the cuff around your arm, holding your breath, and watching those numbers appear on the screen. Hoping, praying, that they're in the healthy range. For so many, it becomes a source of daily stress. There's a feeling of helplessness, a sense that your health is defined by these numbers, and that your only recourse is another prescription, another pill to remember. It can make you feel like you're no longer in the driver's seat of your own body. This feeling of losing control is something that chips away at your peace of mind, day by day. So, let's dive into the expert analysis of how we can reclaim some of that control. The science behind this movement is both fascinating and incredibly empowering. What we're talking about are isometric hand grip exercises. Now, isometric is just a medical term for tensing a muscle without moving the joint. A growing body of research, including studies highlighted by the American Heart Association, has shown that performing these specific hand grip exercises can have a remarkable effect. They help improve the function of our blood vessels, making them more flexible and relaxed. Think of it as a form of gentle yoga for your arteries. And here is the core why. The reason this becomes so profoundly important as we age. Over the decades, our blood vessels naturally tend to lose some of their youthful elasticity. They can become stiffer, which is a key factor in rising blood pressure. What these simple hand grip exercises do is stimulate the release of something called nitric oxide within the lining of the blood vessels. Nitric oxide is a powerful vasodilator, meaning it signals the muscles in your artery walls to relax and widen. This widening allows blood to flow more freely, which in turn can help to naturally lower the pressure within the system. We are not forcing anything. We are simply reminding the body of its own innate ability to regulate itself. The relatable symptom here isn't a physical pain, but an emotional one. It's that jolt of anxiety you feel when the blood pressure cuff tightens. It's the mental fog of worrying about potential complications down the road. It's the frustration of feeling like your health is a runaway train. By engaging in this simple practice, you're not just helping your blood vessels. You are taking a tangible, proactive step that can directly reduce that feeling of anxiety and powerlessness. You are actively participating in your own wellness. I saw this transformation firsthand with another one of my dear patients, a retired schoolteacher named Helen. Helen was a wonderful woman, but she lived in constant fear of her blood pressure monitor. She confessed to me that her heart would start pounding before she even pressed the button. Her anxiety about the reading was probably making the reading itself even higher. I introduced her to this simple hand grip exercise. We didn't change anything else at first. Just this one small addition to her day. A few weeks later, she came back into my office with a smile I hadn't seen in years. She told me, "Doc, the numbers are a little better, yes. But that's not the real magic. The magic is, for the first time in a decade, I feel like I have a bit of control back." That shift in her mindset, that was the true victory. So, let's learn this simple, life-changing technique. The solution is something you can do while watching the news or talking on the phone. All you need is a small, soft ball, like a tennis ball or a stress ball. Even a rolled-up pair of socks or a dish towel will work perfectly. Now, hold it in your hand and squeeze. And here is the most critical part. You only squeeze to about 30% of your maximum strength. This is not a contest of power. It should be a firm, but moderate grip. Hold that gentle squeeze for a few seconds. And now, the golden rule of this exercise: breathe normally. Never, ever hold your breath. Holding your breath can actually spike your blood pressure, which is the exact opposite of what we want. After a few seconds, relax your hand completely. Then, switch to the other hand and repeat. My call to action for you is to stop just worrying and start regulating. I want you to build this small practice into your daily routine. Aim for a few minutes on each hand, a few times a day. It is a constructive, empowering act of self-care. This is not a replacement for medication or your doctor's advice, of course. Rather, it is a powerful tool to have in your own wellness toolkit. It's a way to work with your body. Now, if you are committed to taking back a piece of that control, to adding a simple, powerful tool to your health routine, I want you to declare it. In the comments below, please type, "Excellent. We've awakened our circulation and calmed our system." Now, we move to what might be the single most important physical ability we can cultivate for our later years. This next movement is all about dignity. It's about freedom. It's about answering one of life's most fundamental fears. I call this exercise number 3, the independence strengthener. The problem this addresses is a quiet fear that often goes unspoken, but it resides deep in the hearts of many people over 60. It's the fear of losing your physical independence. It's the worry that one day, you won't be able to get out of your favorite armchair on your own. It's the dread of having to ask for a hand to stand up from the dinner table, or needing help to get out of a car. This isn't about vanity. It's about the deep human need to be self-reliant, to not feel like a burden on the people we love. Losing this simple ability can feel like losing a piece of yourself. It's a loss of autonomy that can be more devastating than many illnesses. Now for the expert analysis. Let's talk about the specific muscles that stand between you and that fear. They are the large muscles on the front of your thighs, known as the quadriceps. You can think of your quads as the powerful engines that lift your body from a seated to a standing position. They are quite literally your get-up-and-go muscles. When these muscles are strong, standing up is effortless. But when they weaken, your body has to find other ways to compensate. And this is the core why. The reason this becomes an urgent issue as we age. There's a natural process called sarcopenia, which is the age-related loss of muscle mass. It starts subtly in our 30s and 40s, but it can accelerate significantly after 60 if we don't take proactive steps. Your body, in its effort to conserve energy, begins to shed muscle tissue that it deems non-essential. The problem is, your quadriceps are absolutely essential. Without conscious effort to maintain them, these crucial engines will shrink and weaken, year by year, until one day, the simple act of standing up becomes a monumental struggle. This is not a personal failing. It is a biological process that we must actively work against. The relatable symptom is something you might have already noticed. Do you find yourself pushing off the arms of a chair with your hands to help you stand up? Do you have to rock back and forth a few times to build up momentum before you can get to your feet? Or maybe you grunt a little with the effort. These are not just random quirks. These are the very first warning signs that your leg engines are running low on power and your body is recruiting other parts, your arms, your back, your momentum, to do the job your legs are supposed to do. This was the turning point for my patient, Arthur. The heaviness in his legs was one thing, but what truly brought him to my office was the shame he felt when his little granddaughter had to help pull him out of his chair. He told me that in that moment, he saw a future he did not want. I explained to him that every single repetition of this next exercise wasn't just a movement. I told him, Arthur, with every leg lift, you are not just exercising. You are making a deposit into your freedom fund for the next 20 years. That idea, that simple shift in perspective, changed everything for him. He was no longer just building muscle. He was building a future where he could stand on his own 2 feet. The scientific proof here is overwhelming. Countless studies in geriatric medicine have demonstrated that lower body resistance training, specifically targeting the quadriceps, is the #1 intervention for preventing falls and maintaining functional independence in older adults. Strong quads are directly linked to better balance, improved walking speed, and a dramatically lower risk of the falls that can so often lead to a loss of independence. So, let's make a deposit into your freedom fund right now. The solution is, once again, beautifully simple. Sit at the edge of your chair, with your back straight and tall, feet flat on the floor. Now, focusing on one leg, slowly extend it out in front of you until your knee is completely straight. You don't need to lift it high off the ground. The goal here is not height, it's the full extension. Squeeze that thigh muscle. Feel it working. Hold that for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then, with just as much control, slowly lower your foot back to the floor. Now, repeat with the other leg. My call to action for you is to start investing in your independence today. Each time you straighten your leg, I want you to mentally say to yourself, this is for my freedom. This is a constructive action that builds a tangible defense against frailty. Perform this movement 10 times on each leg, once a day. That's your daily investment. Each repetition is a declaration that you choose strength, you choose self-reliance, you choose to be the master of your own movement. This is how we fight back against the fear. This is how we stand tall. All right, you've been making deposits into your freedom fund, and your independence engines are starting to power up. That's fantastic. But raw strength is only half of the equation. Now, we need to add another crucial element: endurance. This brings us to our 4th movement, which is a natural evolution of the last one. I call this exercise number 4, the endurance builder. The problem we are solving now is a little more subtle. It's not about whether you can stand up, it's about what happens after you stand up. It's that feeling of shakiness in your legs when you have to stand in line at the grocery store. It's your legs feeling fatigued and weak after just a short walk around the block. It's the need to sit down and rest while you're doing something you love, like cooking a meal for your family or tending to your garden. You might have the initial strength to get going, but you lack the staying power. This lack of endurance can be just as limiting as a lack of strength, forcing you to cut your favorite activity short and shrinking the boundaries of your world. So, let's get into the expert analysis of why this happens. The previous exercise, lifting and lowering your leg, is what we call an isotonic movement. It's excellent for building initial muscle power. This new exercise, however, is an isometric hold. Remember that word from our hand grip exercise? It means we're going to tense the muscle and hold it in a static position. This builds a completely different kind of fitness. It trains the endurance fibers within your muscles, specifically the slow-twitch muscle fibers. These are the fibers responsible for stability, posture, and sustained effort. They are what allow you to stand, to walk, and to hold your body upright for extended periods without fatiguing. And here is the core why. The critical reason this is essential as we age. As we lose overall muscle mass through sarcopenia, we don't just lose strength. We disproportionately lose these vital, slow-twitch endurance fibers. This is why an older person might be able to lift a heavy bag of groceries off the floor, a burst of strength, but then feel exhausted and shaky after carrying it for just a minute, a lack of endurance. Without actively training for endurance, our muscles simply forget how to stay on. They can fire up, but they can't sustain the effort. This is a key reason why balance can falter and the risk of falls increases. Your muscles get tired of holding you up. The relatable symptom is that feeling of unsteadiness. It's the slight tremor or wobble in your thighs when you've been on your feet for a while. It's choosing the chair closest to the door because you're not sure your legs will carry you much further. This isn't just about feeling tired. It's a deep-seated feeling of unreliability in your own body. You can no longer fully trust your legs to support you for as long as you need them to. I explained this concept to Arthur after he had mastered the basic leg extension. He was getting stronger, yes, but he told me he still felt nervous when he had to stand for more than a few minutes. He was worried his legs would just give out. I told him, "Arthur, think of the last exercise as building the bricks. Now, with this next step, we're going to mix the mortar. We are going to build the substance that holds all that strength together and makes it solid, stable, and reliable." He loved that analogy. He wasn't just lifting anymore. He was cementing his foundation. The scientific proof for the benefits of isometric holds is robust, particularly in rehabilitation and geriatric physical therapy. Studies show that these holds significantly improve muscular endurance and joint stability with very low impact. Because you're not moving the joint through a range of motion, it's incredibly safe for people with arthritis or knee pain. Research published in journals like the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy confirms that isometric training is a cornerstone for improving postural stability and reducing the fatigue that contributes to falls. So, are you ready to mix the mortar? The solution is a simple but powerful upgrade to the movement you've already learned. Let's do it together. Sit tall in your chair, just as before. Extend one leg out in front of you until it is perfectly straight. But this time, instead of lowering it after 3 seconds, you're going to hold it right there. Just hold it. Keep it straight and start a slow count in your head. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Maybe you can get to 5, or even 10. You will feel the muscle working in a completely different way now. It's a deeper, more sustained sensation. That is the feeling of endurance being built. When you feel a good sense of fatigue, lower the leg with control. Then, repeat on the other side. My call to action for you is this. Start building the foundation that will truly support you. Don't just build the bricks. Mix the mortar. After you do your set of the independent strengthener, add 1 or 2 of these endurance builder holds on each leg. Hold for as long as you comfortably can, and try to add a second or 2 each week. Every second you hold that position is another layer of mortar on your foundation of strength. You are building a body you can rely on. A body that won't just get you started, but one that will keep you going. We have come to our 5th and final movement, and this one ties everything together. It connects our physical body to our vital life force. It's the one I promised you at the very beginning. This is exercise number 5, the chest opener. The problem this solves is one that creeps up on us so gradually, we often don't even notice it's happening. I'm talking about the subtle rounding of the shoulders, the forward slump of the head, a posture that becomes more and more common as the years go by. We often dismiss it as just bad posture, but the consequences are far more profound than just how we look. This slumped posture leads to shallow breathing and a chronic low-grade lack of energy that we can't seem to shake, no matter how much we rest. It's a silent energy thief. Let's look at the expert analysis. When you slump forward, you are physically compressing your chest cavity. Your rib cage can't expand to its full capacity, which means your lungs can't take in a full, deep breath of air. This directly reduces the amount of oxygen that enters your bloodstream with each breath. Oxygen is the fuel for every single cell in your body. When you're running on a low-oxygen fuel mixture, everything feels more difficult. Your brain feels foggy, your muscles feel tired, and your overall sense of vitality plummets. And here is the core why. The reason this is so critical to address. Decades of our lives, spent sitting at desks, driving cars, or relaxing in soft chairs, have trained our muscles to pull us forward into this collapsed position. Over time, the muscles in our chest get tight, and the muscles in our upper back get weak and overstretched. The body simply adapts to this new, inefficient posture. It becomes our default setting. To reverse this, we need to actively send a signal to our body to open back up, to create space where it has been lost. The relatable symptom is that feeling of being perpetually weary. It's that sigh you let out, not from sadness, but from a kind of physical exhaustion. It's the feeling that you can never quite get a satisfying, deep breath. You might not connect it to your posture, but your body is essentially in a state of low-level suffocation, starved for the very oxygen it needs to feel alive and energized. This was the final piece of the puzzle for my patient, Arthur. We had gotten his legs stronger, his circulation moving, but he still felt just a bit flat. When I showed him this final movement, it was like a light switch turned on. After just a few days, he told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, for the first time in years, I feel like I have room to breathe." It wasn't just about his legs anymore. It was about a total sense of renewed vitality. This movement gave him that feeling of taking a full, deep, life-giving breath. The science here is simple and undeniable. Physical therapists and respiratory specialists have long used chest-opening exercises to improve lung capacity and respiratory function. Studies show that improving posture directly correlates with better oxygen saturation levels in the blood, leading to improved cognitive function and higher energy levels. It's a direct mechanical relationship. Create more space, take in more fuel, create more energy. So, let's create that space right now. The solution is safe and can be done almost anywhere. Stand up and face a sturdy wall, about an arm's length away. Place both of your palms flat on the wall, roughly at chest height and shoulder width apart. Now, gently bend your elbows and allow your chest to move toward the wall, like a slow, standing push-up. Go only as far as is comfortable. Feel that wonderful stretch across your chest and the front of your shoulders? Then, gently press back to the start. That's it. My call to action for you is to breathe deeper and welcome more energy into your life. Every time you pass a wall in your home, do 5 of these chest openers. Let it be a reminder to stand tall, to open up, and to give your body the oxygen it craves. Conclusion. And that brings us back to the beginning. Back to Arthur. Today, Arthur is not just walking without pain or swelling. He's not just getting out of his chair with ease. He has joined his local community garden club. He spends hours on his feet, planting and tending to his vegetables. He told me that these 5 simple movements didn't just give him his legs back. They gave him his life back. The lesson from his story, and from our time together today, is this: your body after 60 doesn't need punishment. It needs partnership. It needs intelligent, gentle care. And the beautiful truth is that consistency with these small, daily actions will always win against big, infrequent efforts. As we wrap up, we've explored 5 powerful movements that can truly transform your golden years. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will awaken my second heart every day, or I will build my freedom fund, or I will open my chest to breathe deeper. Please, share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading them inspires me, and it will inspire every single person in our community to take that first brave step. And if you found real value and hope in our time together, show your support by giving this video a like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, who needs to hear this message today, and please share it with them. You might just change their life. Thank you for being here. Stay strong, stay independent, and I'll see you in the next video.